All right, Shalom. Giving our praises, our glory, our honors unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakal Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 blessed overflow elect out there. This is your brother, the priest, Desire One from GMS Atlanta, back with another edifying video. And this is another Motb update. I had a few articles that I still wanted to speak on from yesterday, so I'm gonna try to make this quick as well. Just more information dealing with the shift to the digital ID system and how close we are to eventually the implementation of the microchip implant, which is the mark of the beast. And like I said, it's almost day to day at this point that this information comes out. Definitely week to week, there's something to speak on when it comes to the Motb. That's if you believe that it's the micro C-hip, which we here at GMS are correct with that. A lot of these different Israelites out there, they don't teach it, they can't see it, or either they sold out. The reason why we can do so much or bring out so much information on this topic is because our eyes are open. I'm talking about from the apostles on down. Us brothers here at GMS Great Millstone. These other groups, they'll do counter videos. They'll say that the Motb is not the chip, but they don't prophesy about it's coming. They don't listen. When you read Revelation, the 13th chapter, that's a prophecy of the end times. Why don't these other groups go into these prophecies and bring out information that's pertinent to those prophecies, to that topic? We bring out pertinent and important information, prevalent information, relevant information that is a warning to the hopeful elect out there to say, look, this is what they're doing. This is how they're setting it up. This is what it's going to lead to. And you should avoid it at all costs. Isn't that not what a watchman is supposed to do? The watchman sees the wolf coming, right? So let me get some presets. Let me get that. Right. This is let me go to Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter. Ezekiel chapter 3. This is Ezekiel chapter 3. And this is a good chapter. This whole chapter is good. But I want to get the the main part here. Ezekiel 3:17, Son of man, and this applies to us prophets today. Son of man, I have made thee a watchman into the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word in my mouth and give them warning from me. So that's what we're doing. We're giving the Israelites, right, the elect of the house of Israel, warning from the Lord about what's to come. All right? So you'll understand what is happening around you, so you don't get. It's just like if you're a rabbit, right? Because we're the prey. The Israelites are also known as the prey. So we're like rabbits. We're like birds. And the hunter puts out traps and bait that is going to lead the bird into the cage. Maybe some bird seed. And once the bird takes the bait, then that's when the trap is being sprung around that bird and the bird is caught. But if the bird can seize the hunter setting the trap, and knows that the trap is getting ready to close around them and don't take the bait, then the bird remains free. That's all we're doing here at GMS. We're making sure that you're not captured in that cage when the fowler or the hunter comes to take the prey. That's it. Okay, hold on, let me see something. Let me get another quick precept. Let's see here. All right, so this is the book of John, chapter 10. And these are the words of Yahushua himself. This is why I'm constantly doing these videos on these topics. The Motb, the digital ID, all of that is important information to know. And as it comes out daily, weekly, however it comes, people need to know. This is John 10 and 11. I am the good shepherd, which that's Yahushua, but we are in the stead of Yahushua. Yahushua is in the spirit, so we're his ambassadors. We are the prophets and teachers sent out that, and we represent Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, to the elect out there. We're in the stead of Moses. We're in the stead of Isaiah, Jeremiah, and the ancient prophets. We're the ones that are heralding, calling out before the coming, setting up the coming of the Messiah. Okay? We're the watchmen, as I read earlier. We're shepherds. So Yahushua says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. But he that is an hireling and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming and leaveth the sheep. We see the wolf coming and we warn the sheep. Okay? So it says, the hireling seeth the wolf coming and leaveth the sheep and fleeth. And the wolf catches them and scattereth the sheep. So that's why I'm constantly doing videos on this topic, to let our people know that, listen, this is what the wolf is trying to do. The wolf here being Esau. He's creating this digital prison system that's going to eventually mandate a technological implant, biometric implant that will be implanted in your skin. And once you're tied to this digital system, ID system, there won't be no escape. And the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, is going to destroy you if you take it. You don't want to feel the wrath of the Heavenly Father. We want the mercy from the Heavenly Father and His Son. So this here says, login.gov to accept passports soon, MDLs by next March. So that means that this system is being set up quick. Okay? Once everything is set up, then they can introduce the implant. Okay? Not saying that this is the mark. The mark is the chip. The mark is the implant. Okay? But you have to be aware of the system around you in order to know that, okay, if I take this device, as opposed to me just, using a fingerprint or a wearable, like RFK Jr. spoke about giving everyone in America the wearables to track their health and so forth. Once the implant comes in, you can say, okay, now that's too far. I'm not going to take that. Even at the cost of your own life. So here it says, the U.S. federal government plans to accept mobile driver's licenses for online access to government services by March of 2026 as it revamps its digital identity capabilities to prevent fraud. That's the selling point. There's too many people taking advantage of the government services, these different agencies, that help out, especially Jake. Jake, takes advantage of the welfare system. And other people too. Esau does too. But if they're revamping the system for digital identity, then eventually you're going to need to be registered in that digital ID system in order for you to get these services. Eventually, you're going to need to take the chip in order to continue the use of these digital ID services. Okay? As I mentioned before, once this system is implemented, I want to lose my thought, but I've said this before. Once this system is implemented, then that's going to be the road of no return. Okay? You won't be able to buy, sell, or get any kind of benefits, without the digital ID. Right now, people can still apply and go online and apply for these services, but that's going to stop once they make this thing mandatory. Let me read some more of this. It says, but first, login.gov is adding passports as evidence for identity verification. They're giving you more ways to identify yourself. They want to know everything. It is also, that's what I was going to say too. This has never been done before. There's the agencies and the systems that we use today from the 70s, 80s, 90s now, at this point, that's an older system. A lot of these government agencies and departments, although they're a part of the federal government, they're separate departments with separate databases. What the digital ID system is going to do is it's going to connect everything together. Everything will be connected together. That's why they created departments like DOGE and other things are being set up. The Department of Government Efficiency, getting rid of certain people, adding AI and other digital systems in order to pretty much make a central database. And they're doing this in other countries as well. So it says, but first, login.gov is adding passports as evidence for identity verification. It is also launching an API for sharing anti-fraud signals, deeper anti-fraud analytics, and additional identity vendors. The plan for the first half of fiscal 2026 also includes reusing proofing from other government systems like PIV and CAC cards and accepting new identity evidence via checks of authoritative government records. So they'll be able to check all your records. It also includes the launch of a partner portal and cross-channel identity verification campaigns. Login.gov will also participate in cross-agency threat modeling and connect with more data sources to fight fraud. Everything will be connected together. Okay. It says here, this is a transformative step towards secure, seamless digital identities, the Holy Grail, says GSA Acting Administrator Stephen Ihikian. We're paving the way to align federal strategies with state and industry standards. Login.gov was certified to NIST IAL2 by Kantara, so another certification agency, last October after adding biometric liveness detection but audits have continued to point out cybersecurity gaps in the platform. A June executive order from President Donald Trump reversed a Biden administration move to support MDLs with federal acceptance and grants. All right, so let's go to the next one. Okay, so now this next article here. UK Home Office working on rules for police use of LFR. So this is out here in over there in Europe, the UK. Facial recognition use ongoing. Rules coming. Law maybe later. So they want to. No, let me just read it. So it says the UK Home Office is in the process of crafting a governance framework for the use of live facial recognition by police as the government considers a legislative foundation. So they want, and I want this before, the police are basically going to be able to use cameras and so forth to identify people. You know, that whole surveillance state is pretty much getting put on the books lawfully in the UK and over here in America. It says Home Secretary Yvette Cooper revealed the intention to introduce a governance framework in response to questions from the Lords, Justice and Home Affairs Committee, UK authority reports. Fraud Minister David Hanson told the House of Lords during a hearing at the beginning of July that the government was considering legislation to establish a foundation for facial recognition used by law enforcement. Legislation for police use of retrospective facial recognition is on the way in Ireland, and the Irish Times reports it will also allow for the use of voice biometrics and gait recognition for identifying suspects, meaning how you walk, how you are able to, your walk, your speech, your face. You know, they're setting this thing up, man. It's getting to a point to where it's about to be heavy surveillance, heavy policing in this world, man. Okay, it's not just a behind the scenes sci-fi movie type of situation. It's not a conspiracy theory. They're setting this up for real, man. It says, while England and Wales wait for further word on new legislation, Cooper says Policing Minister Diana Johnson has engaged with police forces and other stakeholders to consult on the government's framework. So like I said before, it's setting the system up. Which, they're saying that it's for criminals. Here it says offenders. But what they're going to do is they're going to watch everybody. They're going to be able to identify you by your face, by the way you walk, your speech, all of that. This is some Minority Report, sci-fi movie type of stuff, man. But hey, we've been warning you, we've been telling you, okay, that this man, Esau, he wants to be like the Most High. He think he's God. And he's going to use this to, like I said, put you in a digital prison system. You don't comply, if you don't think the way they want you to think, that's why they want to put the implant in your head, in your brain. If you don't talk the way they want you to talk, if you don't put certain things online and go with the official narrative, they're going to come after you. Okay, and possibly kill you. This is why I say that this is a part of the image of the beast. Okay, this is Revelation chapter 13. And let me get it. Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship, and I've gone into this before, it means to compliance, to compliance with the system, to do obedience, to bow down. If you don't bow down to this system and the elites and comply and go with the official narrative on things, then they're going to come after you. Like I said, it says, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. They would put you in a prison, or they would unalive you. Summary execution, look that up. Summary execution, where pretty much if you're deemed a criminal or a threat, the law enforcement can unalive you on the spot. You know, they're bringing back, it's this one recent case where you have it's in one of the states here in the U.S., where you're going to have one of these prisoners executed by firing squad. Matter of fact, let me get that. Let me show you. Let me show you what they're doing. Okay. Firing. I think it's somewhere out west. Firing squad execution. Right? Check this out. And I'm going to go to news. Not images, news. Right, a day ago. So this is from Fox. Indiana lawmaker calls for hangings, firing squads to be used as state execution methods. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Utah death row inmate with dementia scheduled for execution by firing squad. So that's 2 states. Here in Georgia, legislation was passed in the 90s to bring about beheadings. Okay, the guillotine. And Trump spoke about that, bringing the guillotine back. And this is what they're doing now. Imagine when you're tapped into the digital ID system, the Motb is being mandated, and you're looked at as an enemy because you're not worshiping and obeying the system. They're going to put all this into effect. All this will go into effect. So I just wanted to bring this out, man. We're in that time. The image of the beast is being set up so they can look at these criminals, and whatever's going on in the UK, which is a part of NATO, it is a part of the beast. It's not a part of the EU anymore, but it's all a part of that beast system of Rome all over again. They're going to bring it over here to America. All right. Now, speaking of facial recognition, I mentioned this before. It says ICE's facial recognition app raises alarms over expansion of domestic surveillance. I keep telling y'all what's going on, man. We're standing upon our watch here. It says in early 2025, Immigration and Customs Enforcement quietly expanded its biometric surveillance footprint with the deployment of a powerful new smartphone app known as Mobile Fortify. The app enables ICE agents to perform facial recognition searches against a reportedly sprawling data set of 200 million images and to conduct fingerprint scans directly from their government-issued mobile devices. Next, once they mandate the chip, they'll just be able to use their devices to scan your chip. Oh, well, I don't have the chip. Well, then they can come arrest you, and they can take you out or put you in alligator Alcatraz or whatever agency. It's all leading up to the people eventually getting the implant. It says this capability effectively transforms ICE officers into roving biometric scanners capable of identifying individuals in real time anywhere within the United States. So, hey, believe you me, this is all a part of the prophecy of the Motb, the mark of the beast. Revelation 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, and free and bond, to receive a mark, that's biometrics, in their right hand or in their foreheads. When you have a device implanted in your body, bio meaning body, metric meaning to measure. They're going to measure your body through them scanners, whether it's ICE or you go to the grocery store to buy something. They're going to use this to scan the technology under your skin, And that's how you will be tied into the new image of the beast, which is this digital ID system. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, and that man is Esau, Edom. So they're setting up this biometric surveillance system. ICE is pretty much going to be heavily policing people over here in the States. They're also setting up the police over there in the UK. All right? With the police forces over there using facial recognition and, you know, your speech and your gait, your walk recognition. And then they're setting up you to be able to use your passport and other credentials that you're going to need for digital ID. So pay attention, man. Pay attention. Pay attention, man. And see what's really going on around you. You know, GMS got it right when it comes to the Motb being the micro C-hip implant. So with that, our praises goes to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. I hope this lesson was edifying. Shalom.